Hi everyone, I hope you're all okay. I'm really glad that so many of you enjoyed my last video, so I thought that I would come on today and film another video this week of me trying the science experiment that I posted on the blog. So, the science experiment was science with ice, and it was all about looking at the way things freeze and the way things melt as well. So I'm only going to do part of the experiment today, but obviously I'd post on the blog the full thing for you to have a go at as well. I just didn't have very much room left in my freezer. So what you needed to do was to get yourself a container and a toy. Pop the toy into the container, fill it up just to the top with water and pop it in the freezer to freeze. So I did this morning. I didn't actually have a toy, so I found this whiteboard pen in the cupboard. Don't worry, it's not from St. John's. So I popped this into my container, filled it with water, and I put it in the freezer for about 4 hours. Now that was enough time for it to freeze nicely. I've just taken it out a few minutes ago. So it has started to melt just a little bit because the room's quite warm, but it's absolutely fine for me to use as well. I've also got a plate because when I tip it out in a minute it could get a little bit messy and could end up going everywhere, so we need to keep it nice and tidy, so I'm going to pop it on the plate. And I've also got a mug here that I've filled with warm water. It's warm water, not boiling water. That's really important. Okay, so step one, I'm going to tip out my frozen object onto the plate. Now, because I've had it sat on the side for about 5 minutes, it makes it easier to get it out. That's why the instructions tell you to do that, otherwise it wouldn't come out quite as easy as mine did then. And I'm just going to flip it out over so you can see the object on the top there. Okay, now the question is, what happens when you pour warm water over your frozen object? So let's find out and see. Just be careful, otherwise it's going to go everywhere. Now, you won't be able to hear it, but I can. It's actually starting to make like a crackling noise. Interesting, right? So, already straight away, it's actually starting to melt, and it started to melt really, really quickly. All around the object, you won't be able to see it, you might be able to see it here. You can see that it's kind of formed a bit of a gaping section, and it started to melt. So that should mean that the more warm water I was to pour onto my object, the quicker it would melt and the easier it would become to remove my object or remove my toy from the block of ice. So I hope you've enjoyed that today. I'm sure that lots of you would have already had a little go at this experiment, this investigation. I'd like you to try and have a go if you've not already, and let me know how you get on. Make sure you post it on the blog. I'd love to see, and I'll comment back to you so we can have a little chat about it as well. I'll see you all soon.